Good morning, everyone. Day 12 of the calendar. So we are halfway today. Okay, here's the coffee. Tomorrow we're gonna change the box. More coffee, we're gonna come. All right, so 12. What we have here? All right, so we have a washed Kenya from Pala. This is the second coffee from Pala. We saw that, I think Pala was the first one. Yeah, so washed Kenya. Okay, we already saw Kenya already in the calendar, and I think there are more to come. Today I am going to show you a nice recipe using the Orea Z1. Okay, this is a recipe that I have developed a lot with Kenyan coffee. Of course, not all of them are the same. Of course, not all the roasters are roasting the same, but so far was pretty good, consistent. So today we're gonna find out if it's consistent also with this coffee. Now, the funny thing of this recipe is that it's a bypass recipe with a zero bypass dripper, which is, I think it makes it funny a bit, right? Because you're using a zero bypass dripper to avoid the bypass, and then at the end we bypass. But so yeah, so it's a zero bypass method. So let's weigh the coffee. We are going to do 15 again. Okay, 15. And we are going to grind this at 26 clicks. Okay, 1. Perfect. 26. Perfect. So let's see the grind size. Okay, 26. Perfect. So I said already that we're going to brew with a Z1. I said already that it's going to be a zero bypass method. But now let's go inside with the details about this. Water temperature 95 degrees Celsius. Okay, I usually keep it pretty standard. If I see that the coffee, the Kenya, is a bit developed, medium roast, I go 94, 93. But usually for light, I keep it 95. Then another variable that you can change is that the ratio. Okay, so I'm going to brew this coffee 15 grams with 240 grams of water. Okay, so 15, 240. If I had a medium roast, a bit more developed, I would push it. I mean, I wouldn't push it. I would put less water, so 230. Okay, it's going to be 3 pours. Now I'm gonna show you. You're gonna follow along. But what to say, when you reduce the 10 grams, you just take it out from the last pour. Okay. Now let's brew it. Then I will repeat it again. All right. So just to make sure we have 15 grams. Perfect. And now this 0, and we are ready to go. So again, water 95, and we're gonna apply the first pour of 40 grams. Okay. Now, of course, we let the coffee saturate. Here, again, you can leave it for 40 seconds and you can stretch it to a minute. It really depends on the coffee. Let's keep it for 40 seconds now, then we will see. After 40 seconds, I'm going to apply a pour of 120 grams of water. So until we arrive at 160. And Emma is here. Right, so it's a pretty long pour. Some alarms going off. That's part of the morning routine. And that is good. All right. So you see a long pour. Now, the next one, so the last one, we are aiming to do it when we are more or less at 230, okay? Here, so it's good to understand the drawdown, okay? Again, when we brew with the Z1, we saw that it's good to follow actual numbers of the recipe because the drawdown, the contact time is very important because there is less agitation, so it's good the contact time. We focus more on contact time with this method than actual pouring. So yeah, so far so good. It looks steady. So when you arrive at 230, there should be just a little bit of water left. In this case, I think it's going to drain completely. So I'm gonna cut. I'm gonna go now for the last one. I don't want the bed to be drained completely, so we just go. Okay. And now the last pour until we arrive at 240. Okay. That's it. Yes, you can destroy the box later. I told you you can when I was halfway, but not now. Okay, let's wait until everything drains and then I'm going to spray you the bypass. Easy. Okay. $3.30. $3.30. Perfect. Let's check the yield. Okay. One. All right, so now we have our coffee. Okay, the aroma is not very bright, and this because this coffee should have high intensity. Now we check the intensity. Okay, I want to show you first. I'm not gonna drink it now, okay? It's because I want to show you why this method. So when you brew a coffee like this, with this dripper you can achieve a higher extraction, okay, compared to other brewers because there is no bypass. There is airflow, you have more contact time. So what you do is you achieve a very strong cup. if I was going with more water, that's why everything started with this. I was trying to balance the cup by increasing the amount of water inside the dripper, and it was coming too bitter, okay? Then of course you said, Matteo, but okay, so if it's the problem is the contact time, why don't you grind coarser? Coarser, you decrease the TDS, you decrease the extraction. Yes, of course. The problem is that if I don't give enough contact time, then I don't really get that mouthfeel, that juiciness that I really want from this Kenyan. So there was only one way. So to develop something that is shorter and then to bypass after. Now I'm going to take one sample, okay? Now I know that I weigh the yield, let's say it's 201. This is probably 1 gram, even less, but we're gonna say that this is going to be 200 to make it things round, okay? So now we're gonna check the TDS, okay, before bypassing, because I want to show you how high it can get with this method, at this ratio, okay? Also, like 330 is not a big amount of total brew time, okay, for this quantity of coffee and water. Okay, here the TDS seems stable. Yeah, it's 1.58. Okay, as you can see, 1.58. Now, this what tells me? It tells me that the strength is too high. Okay, if I'm going to do, phone is my pocket. If I'm going to do the calculation that's we're doing every time, we can say that we have a coffee. Okay, so 201 multiplied 1.58 divided 15, and we have a 21%. So it's very high. Okay, very high. The thing is, it's like I was looking for sweetness. Okay, juicy sweetness. We can, of course, reduce this extraction by reducing the amount of water. Now, if I'm thinking, as I was thinking the past days, to reduce TDS and extraction at the same time, you just need to grind coarser. But as I said, I don't want to lose the juiciness. Okay, I don't want to lose the mouthfeel, because I will decrease the contact time, because there is not much agitation in this dripper. You get the balance in between extraction, but you don't get that mouthfeel, okay? That's why, again, that's why I developed this recipe. That is not the ultimate one. There is no ultimate, it doesn't exist, but it's good to try, right? So I said again, okay, 1.58 with a 21%. Okay, now what we need to do, we want to keep this 21% of extraction, but we want to reduce the TDS, because that's why we do bypass. We do bypass to reduce the TDS. The extraction won't change, because we're going to pour water here. We're not going to pour the water in the coffee to extract a bit more, but we're going to put the water inside the liquid. This will drop TDS, but keeping the 21% of extraction. In this way, these components will open more, because we dilute more the coffee. Usually, more is diluted, more you can feel the flavor, the clarity of the cup. Doesn't lose the mouthfeel, don't worry about that. It will just open up the cup and giving also a better aftertaste. Now, let's talk about the bypass. How much water should I put inside here? Now, on a regular basis, so what I discovered with this recipe, if TDS is very high, so if you feel that it's very intense, if you have a refractometer, even better. If it's more than 1.60%, what you do, you can bypass the 20%. So basically, from the total volume, you put the 20% of the total volume of fresh hot water inside the coffee to bypass it, to drop TDS. If it's below the 1.60, again, if you have a refractometer, you can bypass with 16.5%. I know, it's very precise, but that's what I do. 16.5, now we calculate it. Now, And you tell me, yeah, Matteo, you say refractometer, but I don't have a refractometer. And that's right. So what you can do is this. You can basically, it's a new bag of coffee, it's a new coffee, you don't know how should be the dilution. What you should do, you should take the brew and split it in 2 equal parts, okay? You can also not use all of it, you can just use a bit of this, like, I don't know, 40 grams of coffee one side, 40 grams of coffee on the other side, and then what you do, you bypass following the ratio. So you're going to bypass the 20% of these 40 grams of coffee, all right? Or the 16.5% of these 14 grams of coffee. In this way, you're gonna have 2 cups, smaller cup as a sample. You taste one, you taste the second. Which one you prefer? I prefer 16.5, perfect. I need to dilute it, 16.5. I like the 20% dilution, all right. I then do the 20%. You can finish to bypass this, but also it's good for the next ones because you already know how much dilution you should do. Pretty simple, okay? It's a bit of work, but yeah, that's usually what we do in competition, all right? When we decide, like when we do some bypass method, especially with AeroPress. So that's my trick. I divide like the full total brew in 3 or 4, depending on how much is the yield. 3, 4, do different dilution. I try the coffee, I see which one is the best. This is going to be my dilution. And it's always consistent. Now, how much grams of water is 16.5%? So calculation, total amount, we said it's 200, we took out the gram for the TDS, multiply the percentage you want to give, all right, divided by 100, and it's 33 grams. This is the 16.5% of the total yield. Now, let's bypass it. It's good because the water is hot. While we were talking, the coffee was going down, but this water is still hot at the temperature, so the coffee will be hotter, will increase the temperature, this bypass. Okay, 33 grams. Yeah, the aroma is fruitier, opens a bit more. That's what we wanted. Let's taste the cup and then we're gonna check the TDS again and see how much we drop it. It's fruity, but it's a bit astringent. I think it's a bit bitter. I think it was too over extracted. We saw 21%, which is high for me. Maybe you like it, but yeah, this Kenya didn't work this ratio. But we have to brew more. So let me just check the TDS of this one, just to get some reference. Also useful for me to understand if this method is good for, not for every coffee, of course, but for this Kenya as well. So I keep track of the data. All right, so what we got a, okay, pretty standard. The TDS, the dilution worked, so I'm very happy with this, at least. We got the TDS that we wanted to achieve, which is 1.40, okay? Usually, like with this dilution, you get, so if you dilute it at 16.5%, usually you get around 1.40, 1.41, 1.42, depends on the coffee. And then basically with the 20% you get lower, so around 1.30, 1.33, 1.35. That is and both of them are good in this window, okay? So now I feel like it's a bit astringent, I feel like it's a bit bitter as well. Maybe the dryness was coming a bit from the high intensity. No, because it's 1.40. So I think we extract too much. When you extract too much, what you do? You change something, okay? Now, again, I can change the grind size, but I don't want to change the grind size, okay? Because you can do that, okay? I'm here to explain you things. So let's manage the changing with something else, okay? Let's make our life more difficult, okay? And how it is. The coffee is not bad. The mouthfeel of this coffee is so juicy, but it's a bit dry at the end. I don't want this dryness. I want sweetness. I want berries. I want blackcurrant in my mouth, and that's it. Okay? So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to change the recipe. I'm going to fix it, okay? Same method. I'm going to clean everything. I will come back and I will explain you what I will do. Give me 1 second. All right, I'm back. Everything is reset. Reground the coffee. Again, 26 clicks, 15 grams. Okay, double check. 15 grams. Okay. 14.9 is fine. Okay. Yeah, we are there. Okay, so I said 15 grams, but now what we're going to do, we are going to reduce 10 grams of total brew water. So it's going to be 15,230. Same pouring pattern, keeping the same timing, but reducing the last pour. So instead of 80, we're going to pour 70. Let's go. Again. Grams. Before I was telling you, you can stretch if it's fresh to 1 minute. So we keep at 40. We saw that it's enough because we got a lot of extraction. So that's perfect. All right. Water again, 95. And now the long pour. Once again, when you pour with a mellow drip, you know, like distribute the water very well, especially at the beginning, so you wet the coffee very well, uniformly. All right. Okay. So second pour, 120 grams of water until we reach 160. Now, in theory, 2 minutes and 15, we did it before. The water should be almost drained completely, and we're going to apply the last pour. Motorcycle brake. We are going to apply the last 70 grams. Perfect, seems good. Let's go with the last one. Okay. Perfect. 230. So the last one was finished draining at 330. I'm expecting this to be a bit shorter because we have 10 grams less, but who knows. Yeah. Okay, let's say 3 and 10. The second one. Now, let's straight away check TDS like we did before. The aroma, it's fresher. I feel it that it's less extracted, it's more bright notes, okay? Let's check TDS, then we check the yield, it's so easy. All right, so we are working on a yield of, okay, 190. And of course, the TDS this time is higher because we put 10 grams less of water. So we should have higher strength and lower extraction. Okay, 1.61. Okay, as you can see, 1.61. If I'm going to do the calculation again, what we're going to have? 1.61 multiply the yield, which is, I would say 190, divided 15, and we get 20.4, okay, of extraction, which is good. It's pretty balanced. Before we were over 21. We want to drop this extraction, and now we have it, and now we achieve a 20.4, okay? So it's lower extraction, but not under extraction, it's 20% still, you know? So what we're gonna do with this, as I said before, when the coffee is like over, the TDS is over 1.61, 1.60, we're going to dilute the 20% of the total. So again, quick calculation, 190 multiply the bypass percentage, so it's 20 divided 100, and it's 38 grams. So I'm going to pour 38 grams. I need a pipette here to be more precise. That's fine, we made it precise. So 38, and that is going to be our coffee. The aroma is definitely more open and fruity. I can feel a lot of berries now. I think we are on this. All right, so we said 161. We have our coffee that we're going to drink straight away because I can't wait to drink this. Okay, then we check TDS. We have time. Oh. Oh, yes. That's what I wanted this morning. I'm so happy. Oh my God, it's like berry juice. So happy. When I achieve like the brews at the first, okay, when I achieve at the first try, I'm super happy, but now still happy, you know. Second one, we made it, we thought about, you know, like what we need to change, we made it right. So yeah, yeah, that's good. That's good. Let me think about this, okay? And let me just 1 second enjoy a bit this coffee, and then I go back to talk to you. Damn, this is a really good cup. All right, so let's go back. Let's check the TDS just for reference again. I don't need any more to control because I'm happy. And the thing is this, like, if I make another one, keep it the same ratio, keep it the same dilution, I will get pretty the same thing, all right? It's very repeatable. This is something that I noticed with Z1, it's very repeatable because the turbulence. The turbulence sometimes can be tricky because it extracts a lot, but you're never consistent, you know, the hand is never consistent 100%. We are not robots. What I wanted to show you is the fact that you remember when it was, you know, when the TDS is higher than 160, bypass 20%. When the TDS is lower than 160, bypass the 16.5, because in this way we get, as you can see, pretty consistent TDS. So now it's 1.41, before it was 1.40. So you see the game of bypassing, how it works. But in this time we decrease extraction because we reduce the amount of water. Now, you don't have a refractometer, okay? What do you do? As I said, start with the basic one. You can start with the 240, or you can even start with the 230. If you see that the coffee is a bit more developed, start with the 230, it's fine. It's better to have something less extracted than more extracted. So start with 230, it's fine. You have it 40 grams, and then at 40 you go for 120 grams for a total of 160 here on the scale, and then the last one of 70 for a total of 230. See the drawdown? Of course you need to use a Z1. This is a recipe for this dripper. You can try with other ones, but I don't know if it's going to work. Maybe you can try, I don't know, with the AeroPress, if you do something inverted. I have no idea, to be honest. You need to try it and you tell me, okay? That is the good thing. So you have some homework to do. Try to see if this method can work with other drippers, okay? Because I never tried. I always focus on this specific dripper with Kenyan, okay? I didn't try with other coffees, but you can try with other coffee and you can tell me, whoa, Matteo, it works so much. So you can extend this recipe not only for Kenyans, but for other coffees. It's about trying, it's about testing and collecting data, but enjoying it, okay? So you start with the recipe. Then what you do, you do have a refractometer. How I know which one is the good dilution, which one is, if it's good extraction, what you do is this. You split the coffee 2 doses. Here you can use half of the liquid. So, you know, like, I don't know, if it's 100, and then you basically dilute the 16.5% in one and the 20% in another one. And you taste. If you find the right one, perfect, you know, they're both of them great. But this one is more clean, it's more good, open, more fruity, but you go with this dilution, for example, like if it's at 2% or 16.5. Then, if you see that both of them are like, they're both dry, okay, if you start with the 240, if you, like, happened to me, it's a bit dry, okay, maybe it's a bit over-extracted, I don't have a refractometer to say, but my taste buds say it's a bit dry, it's a bit bitter, reduce the amount of water. If you feel the opposite, increase the amounts, okay? It's not a problem, it's something you can fix. Regarding the grind size, of course, this is very important, but with this dripper, follow the drawdown. So make sure that you see how the coffee was draining, 215 and end up like 330 before, and 310 the other one. So try to keep this timing, okay, for this dripper. It's fine. And then you do all the bypass game, you see which one is the best. After that, you have all the numbers, okay, to follow, to be consistent, because that's what number is useful for, consistency. Because once you know that all the numbers are there, this is what I need to achieve this beautiful cup of coffee. I know that every time I'm going to grind the same amount of coffee at the same grind size, with the same amount of water at the same pour, with the same timing, achieving the same yield with the same TDS and extraction, with the same grams of bypass, and I will get these products consistently every time with that coffee, of course, but every time. That's one number for keeping consistency. If you have the numbers, you cannot gamble, okay? Numbers are helpful for consistency. When you find your number, we found out my number, okay? We found our number here. You keep the number and you achieve consistency. That is the goal, consistency. And that's it, right? Then, of course, it's so good. Then, of course, coffee is a big variable, all right? So if there is a rotten bean, numbers cannot tell you if it does taste like rotten, but at least it's something you cannot control, okay? The nature of the organic thing, you cannot control it. But what you can control the other variables. Grinding, of course, also very inconsistent sometimes, but you cannot control this, okay? Not even if you have a 4,000 euros or dollars grinder. Unpredictable. But we try our best and we try to get closer each time and enjoy and be happy with a delicious cup of coffee. At the end of the day, the whole thing we do, you know, like people think we are crazy, you know, like, oh my God, what are you doing? I believe like in your family or friends, you're gonna have someone say like, man, what are you doing? Like, I just want a cup of coffee, right? All this gaming thing, like, blah, 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 blah. That's crazy. But it's for this. It's for this cup of coffee that we do all this. And the happiness that this cup brings. Because tastes like I put all my efforts, I put all my thoughts, I put all my skills and knowledge and time spending, learning, watching the advent calendar of Matteo, you know, and try to get knowledge. And everything is inside this, like enough, I don't know how much else left, maybe not even 50 ml, maybe 50 ml of coffee left to enjoy. I'm gonna say thank you very much for watching. I'm going to finish this before it's getting too cold. I'm happy, and tomorrow I'm gonna reopen the new box, the second box that is there, second half of the calendar. I have more to give, so make sure you stick around and let's say comment, react. I'll try to reply the comments. Sometimes I'm a bit busy working, so I'll have time to stay in front of the computer or the phone to reply, but yeah, do it. I will reply to you anyway. Again, thank you very much for watching. I will see you tomorrow with another coffee, with the second half of the calendar, and in the meantime, I wish you a wonderful day and crazy delicious coffee. Ciao.